Hello everyone, we are live. Welcome to webinar series by Talent Battle. We are one-stop platform for students preparing for job opportunities. We provide aptitude, technical and interview preparation series for students across India. Till now, we have organized various aptitude and technical webinars through our Talent Battle web platform. But along with the knowledge, one important thing that drives you for success is getting proper mentorship. So considering that, we have launched a webinar series where experts from the industry will share their experience and guide our students. I'm really glad to share that you have today, we have today Mr. Mahendra Kane, who is having a total experience of 16 plus years in 16 plus years in industrial automation. We are sure that this experience and guidance will surely help our students. So now I would like to request our sir, Mahendra Kane sir, to start the session.
Right. Thank you, Team Talent Battle. Good morning, everyone. My name is Mahendra Kane, and I'm here to talk about so-called time management or self-management. Right. So let's go ahead. I hope you can see my screen and as well as hear my voice properly. Okay. So let's go ahead. So as Ajinkya mentioned, I am from this industrial automation background and worked a lot in various applications and presently working in a multinational company as a business development guy. I like to read a lot and I'm really passionate about my own development, and as well as a newfound passion for me in this lockdown is to help others grow. So by volunteering in various tasks, I'm doing that. Before we start the topic, a small token of gratitude for all the guys or all the ideas and learnings and experiences which I have learned over time. And obviously the internet from where I could get a lot of stuff which I have used in this presentation. That is really, it will make the point very clear. That's the idea behind this. So really thank for all. And then my only sincere request is if you learn something, then don't hesitate to pass it on. So I call that pay it forward. So whenever you are learning new thing, do take out some time from your life and then help others to grow. Yeah. So we are today really talking about time, right? So we know this traditional term called time management, right? So time management is something like a burglar's alarm. Have you heard about this burglar's alarm? Where whenever that alarm is on, the police go and catch the burglars, right? Typically it is installed in banks. So time management is in figurative terms something like burglar's alarm. So burglar's alarm is really not for the burglar but for ourselves or the police for him to catch, right? Similarly, time management is really not managing time, but it is actually managing ourselves with respect to time. So we should first understand that we cannot control the time. It is just not possible. So I say whenever I say by means of control is when you can go back in time, when you can go forward in time. This only happens in movies, right? And in comics. So last time when I saw a time machine, that was in Avengers Endgame. I'm sure a lot of people have seen that also, right? So the idea basically here is we are not able to control we can't go back to time in past, as well as we can't change the future. So what really can be changed is something which is the present. So time management is really not really a times management, but the management of our own, right? So if we are clear with that, then obviously it makes a lot of sense to go further and then discuss few things. Okay. So as I said, time management is a myth. Instead of, we should focus more on the self management or the management of ourselves with respect to time. So since we can't control how much time has already passed, like this 11:30 a.m. of today's, the 24th July has already passed. Whatever you do, you can't bring that time back, correct? So we have to live that time in present and then do a lot of different activities, because the time is never delaying, but we are delaying on our own, right? So there is no point in blaming time or blaming that clock that things are not happening properly. Instead, we should start taking responsibility of our own, and then we should find out how we can develop ourselves so that we can manage the time properly. So talking about the challenges in self-management or you can say time management, there are 9 things which are listed out, and many things, don't get bogged down by too many text here. and too many new things here like procrastination, for example. These are all simple things, and then I have also made it quite simple for you to understand. But a few things which you should understand basically is, if we are not clear with what we are going to do, all these problems come always. Okay, so like planning, prioritizing, or putting things always in future, it's called procrastination, etc. Or lack of focus, if you are not really focused, if we are doing too much at the same time, like multitasking, if we are doing each and everything which is coming to our way, right? So these are some typical things which are challenging in the today's scenario. And if we put some thoughts on each and everything, and we realize what we can do better, we can do a lot of wonders with the time which we have in our hand. So let's go one by one. So let's start with planning. Okay, so you might have heard about this goal setting, planning, right? So everything starts with a goal, etc. But I want to become rich. It's just a wish unless I have a proper plan for that. Or I want to get first number in the university in the exams. That is my wish. So it only remains a wish unless I don't chalk out a plan and start working towards that, right? So always remember that a goal without a plan is just a wish. It's just wishful thinking. Another thing which happens is, many times we over plan, right? So we want to become the best in whatever we are planning, but in that context, lot of time is already gone because you really didn't start work at all. You only spent a lot of time on planning, and then you really didn't do any didn't take any steps to do that, right? So start with some plan. It may not be the best plan on the earth, but it should be a reasonable good plan. So a good plan which we are implementing today, right from today, is far better than a perfect plan which we are thinking on for future, right? So start with something, and then over the period of time, you can definitely improve that plan and then make it better, much better. So if we always are stuck behind a perfect plan, which will never come to which will never go to happen, right? So your work will never start. So instead of that, you should start with a reasonably good plan, and then you know that this plan is not good, but then as the time progresses, we are able to improve ourselves, and then that plan also becomes good. So that is very important. So we should first understand whether we are just doing a wishful thinking, that just under planning, I want to become rich, right? But there is no plan behind that. Or we are over planning. So I want everything to be perfect, but then I'm really not finalizing my plan, and I'm really not starting any work out of that. So that is also, these are two extreme things. So we should decide where we are and what kind of planning we should start, right? The important thing is to start with a reasonable good plan, and second is to start implementing that. So both things are really important. Next is, how do we do that? So there is a very good step called SMART, SMART. So specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So these are very, very simple things. So let's say I want to become rich, right? So first it should be quantifiable, it should be measurable. So let's say I want to earn 10 crores, for example, by so and so date, right? It should be achievable. It should not be that I want to earn 10 crores in maybe 6 months or 1 year, right? By whenever you are saying that, you yourself are not convinced. So first, that plan should be convincible to you. So it should be achievable. Maybe over the period of 30, 40 years, 30, 35 years, that it is a good achievable plan if we are working in small organization. Next is, it should be relevant, right? If you are doing some irrelevant plan which has really no bearing on your life, then that goal has really no value. And the last is, and the important is, the time bound. It should be time bound, otherwise it has no real meaning. So it will just become a wishful thinking, right? So specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So all 5 steps, if you are very clear while doing a planning or a goal setting, this will really help you achieve a lot of things. Now next comes is, we have plans, we have the different goals, and then we start working, right? But then what happens is, sometimes we are so busy, or we think that we are so busy in doing so many things, that we lose the sight or the vision of the plan, right? So the point here is, we are really not busy unless we set our priorities right. So if we have, let's say, 10, 12 activities in a day, and then we are not really prioritizing that, and then we are juggling those tasks in between, then definitely we think that we are really busy, right? So being busy is not important. Getting things done is more important. So there is a very good law called Pareto's principle, which talks about that 80% of your business actually comes from 20% things, or 80% of things the results you achieve are really a work of just 20% of the work you do, right? So some examples. So one is like in sales, your top 5 customers or top 6 customers really bring the chunk of the business, right? So 80 and 20 is just a way of saying it is just a figure of speech. So the point here is basically less things which are really contributing to higher. So for example, top 5 or 6 people in India, rich people in India contribute to the maximum wealth of India, right? Or top 20% of the bugs really cause 80% of the crashes in the software development, right? When you start your own work or you start in a software company, you will find that some bugs really take a lot of time, whereas a lot of bugs are just trivial, right? So we have to focus on those 20% bugs for clearing. So this Pareto's principle is one of the profound principles in self development, which talks about we should learn what are our high payoff activities or what are our high top priority activities, right? So if we are clear with that, then definitely the work becomes very simple. So prioritizing is the number one task, right? So the key here is not to prioritize what is on your schedule, but it is the reverse way. We should first be clear what high payoff activities we want to achieve. So high payoff activities, I mean the activities which are going to bring you maximum profit or maximum work to be done, right? So the key is basically prioritizing or the scheduling your priorities so that the maximum possible things will get done or the high payoff activities will get done. So many times what happens is we think we are so busy that you're just making a kind of a to-do list, and then we are just ticking off the things, and then we are working randomly, and we are just shooting something randomly and calling whatever we are hitting that thing is done, right? So that's not really prioritizing. Prioritizing is defining or understanding what are the best 3 or 4 things in a day. If I do, will get my maximum work done. So if I do that, then definitely it will help a lot in long way, right? So prioritizing another thing which is really important for self-management. So the important point here is what kind of high payoff activities you have to do. For example, if you are a student or if you are appearing for the exam, then your highest payoff activity is studying for the exam, right? Not playing a cricket match. So that is important. We should first find out what are our high payoff activities. If we are clear with that, then the things become very, very easy. Okay, now once we decide priorities, once we decide the goals, plans, etc., many people have tendency to put off the things for tomorrow, right? So tomorrow is some place, a mystical land they call, where 99% of human productivity, motivation, achievement are stored. So tomorrow is something which is a future, right? As we discussed earlier, we don't have a control over past. We can only visualize what happened in past. We can visualize something which can happen in the future, but we really don't know what is there in the future for us. So what we can do really is we can focus on the present. So one of the major things called procrastination, or just the procrastination, I mean, is the way we put off the things for tomorrow or later, right? So that thing, if we are really doing that, then it's a big problem for a self management or a time management guy. Because then if we are not really taking action on our decided plans, our smart plans, then it will really not going to work, because we are really not starting that. So we have to be in present, or we have to act immediately, then only this procrastination habit can go. I will give example. When I was uh, driving my two-wheeler, then many times I did not, I used to wait for the petrol to completely go to zero, and then only I used to fill petrol, just for the fun. Then what happened was, I was so sure that I will reach petrol pump in time, so that I didn't fill petrol that day at all, and it was already zero. And 2 to 3 kilometers before the petrol pump, complete petrol dried out in my bike. So just imagine, it was raining hard, and I had to just tow my bike on my with my hands to the petrol pump. So if I had filled that petrol in time, then definitely this problem wouldn't have come. So that was the biggest learning of that day, that I should not put off the things just for the sake of it, right? So if you start putting off small things, then definitely it also starts mattering for your bigger things, right? So always think that whatever you are doing, you should plan that, and then there should be a proper deadline. You should not basically put off things so that they become bigger after that. So another example is the college studies, for example. So if you start properly at the start of your curriculum, at the start of your semester, then you really don't have to be desperate at the end, when the exams are near. So what we do is, बहुत time है यार, 4 5 months are there, I will easily study and do it, and but that tomorrow never comes. So if we at least allocate, let's say 15 20 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour for our studies every day, then that study won't become a burden at the end of day or at the end of semester, right? So procrastination is one of the most important things, or avoiding procrastination is one of the most important things in self-management. Okay, so you all heard this proverb that a stitch in time saves nine. So solving some problem today or right away can prevent it from getting worse and more difficult to deal later. So this is nothing but procrastination. So if we are avoiding the problem, we are just putting off the solution of the problem, then that problem can also become big, right? So we have to understand this. Now we all know about this Venn diagrams. So Venn diagrams, what they are doing is basically they are showing the reference or of each other of different things. So one such Venn diagram I found on net. So it talks about the things I should do and then things I would like to do, right? So if we are in sync with what we are doing, what we should be doing, and we are in sync with what we really like to do, then we can do a lot of planning around it and then uh, do a proper plan and then take an action. But many times what happens is basically when we are procrastinating, we are only thinking of what I can do or things I will do, right? So then you start losing the sync with your current things, your current planning, and then you will just end up only thinking that what you should be doing. So the biggest problem with procrastination is you're only thinking but not really doing, right? So we should all avoid that, and the sooner or later that will really help a lot. Many times what happens is we plan everything and then just wait for some inspiration to happen. See, inspiration is extremely important, there is no doubt about it, but then the hard work or the discipline is also really important. So many people just wait for the inspiration. I want to write a book, but then when I will write the book, when I will get inspiration. But instead, if I just start scribbling something, if I just have some small idea and then I start writing about that, just just to keep the ball rolling, then these inspirations also start coming very fast, right? So success is basically 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. So unless the hard work is there, unless the focus is there, this inspiration has really no meaning. So don't just wait for inspiration. Start the work which you're doing. See, for example, you want to reduce weight. That can be one of the goals. And then you just think that I will start the exercise from tomorrow, from next week. The next week is a really good day. I should start. And then there is a winter. Then winter, we really don't like to get up early in the morning and go for a walk, right? So all these things always pull you back when you are trying to do something. But then if that inspiration, whenever we are just waiting for inspiration, you will really don't start or you won't start any work at all. So as I said, inspiration is important, but also our own motivation, our own hard work is also important. So don't just only wait for inspiration, but also start taking things in under your control and do that. Okay. So I found a very nice image of this procrastination cycle. So if you can see here, so there are different stages of procrastination or the putting things later. Say you're really excited that a new semester has begun, and I am really going to nail this time. I want to become the first in the university. This is my plan, right? So I'm really excited. So naturally I should also do some work. I should study hard, something like that. I should spend more time in libraries, etc. But then I really don't do anything, and I'm just thinking that I want to become the first in university. Then after some time, say 3 4 months, the uneasiness starts coming because you are really not taken any action, right? Then before 1 month, then whenever you are having this exam and then you have to really work, now this is the 11th hour, then you are thinking, oh my god, now I should really start doing, but still you are not doing anything. Some more time passes, you try to do something, some studies, etc. Then you really understand that the exam is only 1 week ahead, so the desperation starts coming in, and then you really think, now this was the last time I did that. Next time definitely I will do a proper study. I should, I will spend some time every day and then I do. So you start taking vows, so that last time this has happened, but next time I'm really going to start. But unless you change your attitude towards looking at the goals and implementation, then what is really going to happen is you are again going back to the future. So another semester will come, another new exams will come, and then you will not do anything, right? So to come out of this procrastination cycle, what really is required is just take some action, right? Start small, but start. That is important. If you are clear with your goal, clear with your plans, clear with your action plans, then what is really important is taking action, right? So your future is created by what you're doing today and not tomorrow. As we discussed, there is no control over past and future. The control is only on the present, right? The control is also not on the clock. Control is only on yourself, only, right? So we have to create our own future today and not tomorrow. So unless we stop only thinking and start taking some actions, things will really not improve. So the important point here is take actions now. So what is really required for taking an action? So it is nothing but the focus or a discipline. So what is discipline? I am sleeping on a winter morning. It's a very beautiful weather and I really don't want to get up. But since I have my task, I have my goal to reduce my weight, I have to go for a walk or go to gym, right? So what is the discipline basically? Discipline is something which you are really not willing to do, but you know it is important for your life or important for your task to get completed, right? So discipline is doing what you know needs to be done even when you really don't want to do it. See, who likes to wake up early and take some pain and take some do some exercise and all, but unless we do that, we know that we are not going to be healthy for a long time, right? So the age of this 20 to 30 is really a magic age where many people try do a lot of things with their health, and then it really doesn't show on your age, doesn't show on your body, but you whenever you start going above 35 40, then the purane pap start coming out, right? So if we have discipline in early age, we have the capacity to suffer the pain of discipline, then definitely we will be more successful, right? So this is a very nice sentence I found, that suffer the pain of discipline or suffer the pain of regret. So I wanted to become rich. I only thought of becoming rich, but then I really didn't do anything. I really didn't do any saving. I really didn't do any proper studies to to go for a high paying job, etc. Then at the end of the day I will only cry. There is no other alternative, right? So focus or discipline is extremely important when we are going for a big task or when we are going to achieve our goals. So that is one of the most important things. So we should first analyze ourselves, that what is really holding back from being unfocused or being undisciplined, right? So we are clear with our goals, and if we are not having discipline, then that goal has no really point, because there will not be any action because of just lack of discipline. So I'm not telling that you become robo and you should be extremely, you should do everything, each and everything at every point, but at least start cultivating this activity or this good property of discipline that will really help you in long term. Okay, this is my favorite. You might not realize this right now as a student, but when you start working in organizations, there is literally a lot of pressure to do a lot of things in very less time. Okay, so what happens is we tend to do multitasking or so-called multitasking. So we want to talk on phone at the same time. When someone is talking on phone, I am typing something on my laptop, right? Then I'm also thinking something else. What this is the deadline. I have to do something like that, right? Then suddenly my boss is calling. He is also telling me something. So I'm still on phone. I'm trying to juggle a lot of different balls, and then I'm trying to do everything together. But that really doesn't work in long term. At start it looks very nice, very fancy, that I am a superman, I can do a lot of things at the same time, but it really takes a lot of toll on yourself. So in my experience, I was also a multitasker and I was really proud of it, but then after some time I realized that I am not really doing a multitasking, but I am just switching tasks one after the another. You might have learned about these microcontrollers, microprocessors, right? So what they are doing is they are also doing multitasking, but they are designed to do like that, correct? We are not designed to do multitasking, or we are not designed to do task switching. What happens is we have a limited memory, and there is a way of human memory works. So that really creates a lot of problems. So if we are switching tasks randomly, then what happens is we are mixing the tasks, and then we start making a lot of mistakes. Okay. Then it also slows you down because you're making a lot of mistakes. You have to be very careful while task switching. Next is you are having frequent memory loss, right? If you are working on 3-4 projects at the same time, then sometimes you start mixing them. So you are really not sure what you did in project A and what should be done in project B. If you are working on project B, suddenly project A thoughts start coming, right? So that this is something like frequent memory losses. Then the focus is reduced because you are really not focusing on a single task. That is another problem. Because of this, you elevate a lot of stress. The stress starts coming on you. Your battery goes down, right? You are more fatigued, more disturbed, more distressed. So that really creates a lot of troubles. So ultimately, what happens is at the end of the day, you are completely drained out. So that's not a point, right? You also have a family to look after. You also have other life other than work, which is also important. So when we are doing multitasking, not only in our work culture but also in our home, so that we should really avoid. And if we are focusing enough time on a single task, then that really helps you a lot in long term. Okay, so try to avoid multitasking, which is just an inefficient task switching. Another thing is, we have, typically Indians have a tendency to say yes to everything, right? So but the problem is, because we are saying yes to everything, we are really not able to give time for the things that really matter, right? So it is only by saying no that you can really concentrate on things which are really matter. If we are having a high priority goal, a high payoff activity, and if some interruption comes and we are also now telling them that yes, I will do that work, then that will hamper your present work which you're doing. So we should learn to say no to low payoff activities. No, however it sounds simple, it has some drawbacks, right? So as I said, by emotions, by design, we are Indians are more prone to say yes to everyone. This is how the things have been in past. So if we consciously start taking decisions that what is really important for me and what is not, then that will really create a differentiation between you. So try to start saying no to, for things which really are not important for you, that really not matter for you. Another thing is, because of this multitasking, or to rush to the deadlines, we do a lot of things which are not really good or not really correct in the first time. Now if we are doing mistakes each and every time, then we don't have time to do everything right, or there will not be any first time right thing, correct? So if we are not doing things first time right, then the mistakes will keep on repeating. If you're not making proper templates, for example, if some kind of code is getting repeated in your all programs, then if you're not doing a proper template of that, then it will really create troubles every time, because you will every time have to invest time and then doing it over and over again. So if you are able to identify standard work and then follow that rigorously, then that will really help you a lot. So for example, again I go back to, let's say, money. If you are doing some investment, for example, and if you are doing it auto debit from your bank account, then you are really not required to pay attention every month toward that. So now you are freeing your time to do many other important things, right? Let's say you want to pay your credit card bills, etc. So if you are putting auto debit on your account, savings account, then definitely all these things will be done automatically. Then what, you can always focus on things which are really mattering for you, right? So create processes for standard work and then you can follow that rigorously. That will really help you in long term. Okay, now one of the major things when you start your work, when you start your when you start your organizational experience, then there will be a lot of interruptions and firefightings, right? So we should first understand the difference between an interruption and a firefighting. So what is interruption? Basically you're working and someone is coming physically, or maybe someone is calling. WhatsApp is one of the biggest interruptions. Facebook, for example. So these are some things which keep on intervening you, right? Keep on interrupting you. And on the other end, firefighting basically is some very critical task, some extreme high deadline, some very high priority task. So that is called as firefighting. So something has to be done today and you really don't know what is to be done. So that time you have to put your complete energy, complete focus on that only one activity to avoid any consequences of not doing that. So right, so that is called as a firefighting or a crisis management. So we should really understand that the interruptions can be avoided. You can keep your phone on silent, for example, right? While this webinar is running, I have put my phone on silent, so I really don't know if someone is calling me or not, because for me right now taking this webinar is more important than anything else, right? So this is how I am avoiding my interruptions. Okay, and so we should really understand whether the present problem is an interruption or it's a firefighting. So if we can understand that, then we can deal that with very effectively. Now this is a very nice concept introduced by Stephen Covey, one of the major guy in the self-development area. So you can see that there is an x-axis and there is a y-axis. Okay, on y-axis the things which are important and which are not important are mentioned, and on x-axis urgent and not urgent. So we should first, it is very important for us to determine whether the task is urgent or important or both, right? So if the task is important and urgent, then it goes into firefighting or crisis management. So anything which is extremely pressing right now, has extreme importance, especially some deadline driven projects. So that comes under firefighting. We have to spend a lot of time in understanding that and then taking action on that. Next quadrant is basically something which is urgent but not important. For example, some phone is ringing, right? Or some message comes on WhatsApp. So that is typical distraction. Okay. Next is a time waster, typically some gossiping, right? Grapevine. So someone is talking about someone else, and then we are all enjoying, wasting time and doing that. So this is the thing is which is really not important and not really urgent. It will not have any impact on our lives as such, right? Or you can say some phone calls of this phone banking executives and all. So that really should not concern our day-to-day work. But the most important part in all these four quadrants is which is important but not urgent as of today. Okay. So why things become urgent and important? Because we don't take enough action when they are not urgent, right? So this specific column or this specific quadrant 2, which has not urgent and important things, or important things which are not urgent, if you are not taking time out and work on those things, then they start becoming urgent. Okay, so the example is again our studies, college studies. If you're not spending time, quality time every day, right from the start of the curriculum, start of the semester, then by the time your exam comes, you are really desperate. You are working 14, 16, 18 hours a day, and then you want to pass the exam, right? So that's a typical example of firefighting. So if you had taken enough pains every day, small pains obviously, every day, then your job would have been much easier at the end of it, correct? At the end of your semester. So if we are able to spend maximum time in this quadrant 2, which is important but not really urgent, then it will really help you a lot to learn, and then your life will really soar like anything. Okay. So what are the things which are here? One of the major thing here is sharpening our saw, like learning something new every day. Relationship building. If you're taking some time out, let's say I'm meeting a new customer, then the first important task for me as a salesperson is not to do a sales, but to know that person better, to have a proper relationship establishment with that person. If I don't do that, then I will never get any sales at all. Correct. So for me, the quadrant 2 task is to know that customer better, try to find out the similarities between me and him, and then try to please him in some positive way, etc., by doing some work. So that is not urgent. Customer will not say anything if there is no relationship, but at the end of the day, I will suffer as a sales guy because I don't get any business from him, right? If there are two people having same skill sets, but just because one has a better relationship with the customer, then the customer will always prefer that person on the merit of the relationship. So the relationships, new learnings are really important things which can go long way. And when we are doing those things, when it is really not urgent, then when the things become urgent, or when the things are required to be completed, then these learnings and relationships will really help us in long way. Okay. Also, another thing is planning is important. So planning is also a quadrant 2 activity. If we are spending enough time on planning, then definitely we are able to come up with a better action plan, and then we can start doing things properly. So the same quadrant which I doing something differently. So the same things, important, not important, urgent, not urgent. So what we are doing basically is, whenever we are in firefighting quadrant, we are doing, there is no option. We have to do it now. Either we plan it or not plan it, we have to do something. The important quadrant here is we are deciding, we are planning, we are scheduling some time to do that. Correct. The things which are not urgent, which are urgent but not important, you can delegate to some other colleagues, right? Someone who is reporting to you, or someone who can help you willingly. So you can delegate those tasks. And then the things which are complete time wasters, which are really not adding any value in our life, we can simply delete those tasks, right? So this quadrant, if you understand and implement in your life, it will really help you a long way. So just a quick recap of what we learned earlier now. So we started out with a poor planning. So we discussed about what a poor plan can do and how we can do a smart plan, the specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time bound, etc. Right? And then we start taking actions. We start prioritizing our activities. We get rid of procrastination. We schedule time and we are adhering to that time. Then we are doing all activities with proper focus and not really doing multitasking. If we stop saying yes to each and everything, that will really save a lot of time. Then rework, that is, if we are not doing things properly in first stage, then we have to again spend time to do those things right. We should also understand what kind of interruptions are there. We should really distinguish between an interruption and firefighting. So those things we discuss as challenges. So now it is up to you to decide whether it's a problem with time or problem with ourselves, right? So I feel these are the problems or these are the challenges with our own self, the human being. The time has really nothing to do with. Time is just a commodity using which we are trying to measure things, right? So instead of saying time management, if we understand that it is self-management which is more important, then it will really create a lot of awareness, and then you can do a lot of good things. So how to avoid this? Do exactly opposite. So poor planning, you do proper plan, implementable plan, a smart plan, right? A realistic plan, time-bound plan. You identify high payoff activities. With the activities like Pareto principle, the 20% activities which will give you 80% of results. Important is acting now. Many people miss on that point. So if you start small, but start, that is very, really important. Then whatever you're doing, give your 100% focus, give your unwavering attention, right? If I'm delivering this webinar and I know I'm just looking at my mobile, sometimes I'm looking at WhatsApp. So then obviously you will also not like it, correct? So if I'm not giving my 100% focus right now, then this webinar, I don't think at my heart that I'm giving you full 100% energy, right? Another thing is work on one task at a time. So we are not robots. We are not microprocessors. We are just human beings. So do one thing, but do it properly, right? So that will really help you a lot. Then start saying no to low payoff activities. A lot of people will try to interrupt you and give you some tasks. So, but you should wisely say and politely say no. No, there are various ways of saying that. So try to do that. Standardize your routine work, make a lot of templates, make things more automatic, when it comes to managing your money or when it comes to studying something, for example. So keep these things handy. So a lot of standardization will help you a lot in your daily working. So it has really helped me a lot in my organizational experience so far. So with some small templates, you can really take the time off and then you can spend that quality time somewhere else, right? Learn to know the interruptions and what is interruption and what is a crisis. So if you really understand that, then it will help you a lot in long term, correct? So these are some small things which you can improve and then you can start doing it. But one of the major thing which I had not discussed so far is, like time, we also like to think about or like to have a concern about various things which are not in our control. Right? For example, the time is not in our control, but still we say that I don't have time. The time is not on my side, etc. Similar to we always work in this, or many of us work in this circle of concern, right? So this is again another beautiful thought by Stephen Covey, that there is a circle of concern and there is a circle of influence. So what is really a circle of concern? The things which are really not in our control. For example, typical example is COVID-19. So everyone knows that there is a pandemic occurring outside and we are just passing time talking about that. But are we really doing to avoid that as an individual? No, right? We are just talking that, today it has crossed 10 million, 1 million mark. Just today the single, in single day, the numbers increase by 10,000, for example, right? But that is really not adding any value to your own life. We are only just getting frightened and we are frightening the other guys. Other thing is, we talk about weather, we talk about recession. This recession is really killing a lot of people, right? This economic recession, etc. Many times we also concern about other success, right? Usko promotion mila, mere ko nahi mila. This is not right. Right? We are just thinking, we are just concerned about all these things. What we are really doing, we are really not doing anything. Another big concern is what the other guys are thinking about me, right? So for example, I am delivering the webinar and I'm thinking in my mind, what Ajinkya might be thinking, whether I'm doing it right, whether I'm fumbling my words, whether I'm really talking properly, etc. So this is nothing but just a circle of concern. The things which we have no control, but we spend a lot of time to just think over that. So instead of that, what Stephen Covey tells us is to work on the circle of influence. So circle of influence is basically something where we have full control, right? Something which we are able to change. So what is the circle of influence? So when I am thinking about others' behavior, others' opinion about me, if I start taking control of my behavior, right? If I am thinking about becoming rich, I am jealous that my neighbor is so rich, but I am not taking care of my investments at all. Correct? So that is not my circle of influence. It is just circle of concern. If I'm only thinking doing a wishful thinking about my, I want to reduce weight. So that is, I'm just having a circle of concern. But instead of that, if I focus on my own exercise, right? If I join a gym or if I start putting Surya Namaskars and etc., then obviously my life will also improve, my health will also improve. Instead of being jealous about my co-worker or my employer or something, if I focus more on the productivity at work, my productivity, not the others, right, which is in my control, then it will really help a lot. Correct? So the point here is we think a lot about things which are really not in our control, right? So this is typical a circle of concern. But instead of that, if we start thinking about or taking actions about our own things or the things which are in my control, in our control, that will really help us becoming more successful faster, right? So understand your circle of concern and understand your circle of influence and spend more time into that circle of influence. So that's a typical quadrant 2 activity, which is important but not urgent, right? So self motivation will help you a lot to improve or expand your circle of influence over the circle of concern, and in turn you will be able to manage yourself better, right? So understand the first priority here is, if you don't take anything from this webinar, but just really understand what is your circle of concern and circle of influence, then I think my purpose is really served, right? So the sooner or earlier you understand your circle of influence, it will really help you a lot in long term. So just to conclude, some tips from my side on self-management. So I like to track, analyze what is the week ahead, typically on Sunday evening, with respect to time, what I will be doing major things in the next week. That really helped me a lot to sort out my weeks, correct? You can also plan for month, year, etc. obviously. Then note down things which you're really spending most of your time. And then once you write down, the beauty is you really come to know whether that activity is high payoff or low payoff. Many times we are only thinking in our mind, but not really writing down below or writing down on the paper, right? So once we start writing down, then we are really clear where we are spending most of our time. So when we really know where we are spending most of our time, then definitely we can start taking collective actions. Next is what you can, the result of writing down is we will know what is to be eliminated and delegated, correct? Where we should spend more time, which is my quadrant 2 activity. What things I can standardize and then the work can be reduced. Taking breaks also is very important during work or studies, right? Because if you just keep on working, then your battery will dry down or you will be really drained down. So take breaks, have some cup of tea, some coffee, just look at the sky for 2 minutes, right? And then again go back to your work. But don't spend that time on social media, right? Then that purpose is not served. So important is taking breaks and then doing some quality work during that time. Just walk for some time, just circle your workplace, right? So these things you can do. Nowadays work from home culture is there because of COVID. So you can help your spouse or your parents in other household chores just for 2-3 minutes. That will really help them a lot, and also it will also help you to deconnect or disconnect with your work, right? And then you can again come back more refreshed after the break and do your work properly. One of the most important things where whenever you are getting more time, quality time, because of improving your self-management things, you should always spend this time into sharpening your saw. So by sharpening my saw, I mean whenever I get time, I should learn some new things, right? Some things which are really important to improve my life, improve my the work culture, etc. So improve me as a person. So that will really help a lot and have a great impact on me in long term, right? So just to conclude the session, I wanted to tell you about things that we are talking about time management or we are talking about self management, right? But we should always remember that we always have that time for the things which are really important for us. So if we are able to identify what are my high payoff activities, and if we are determined to work on that, then your life will become very, very easy. So always remember that you always have time for the things you are putting first. So the key here is understanding what is really important for your life and then act on it, correct? To plan or then do planning, to set some action plans, work towards that, and then have a time bound schedule, and then you will be really successful in your life. So that's it from my side. Important that wherever we have realized that there is the life has to be changed, then change immediately. Take some baby steps today while there is still a chance. Thank you. Over to you, Ajinkya.
First of all, thank you, sir, for sharing such an amazing response and for conducting such a motivational session.
Mhm.
As per the situation, like inspiration does exist, but it must find you working. Yes, sir, your knowledge, experience, and motivation will surely help our students to decide to start with today and hence achieve the goals. As per the current pandemic, I would like to say that the situation won't remain the same. So I would recommend that, as Pava sir said, time is not like just a thing. It is just a thing. So I would recommend that you should start it as soon as possible, and really that will help you to achieve your success. So at the last, I would like to thank all the students for being there, and I would like to thank you, sir, again for conducting such an
My pleasure.
amazing, such
Thank
an
you.
amazing. Thank you, sir.